Prince William didn't say a word, and somehow that silence echoed louder than any royal statement ever could. No press release, no family photo op, not even a subtle nod from an aide. Just pure, calculated absence. And in a world where every headline is dissected and every glance goes viral, that kind of silence isn't just powerful. It's deliberate. What looked like just another quiet week in the royal world quickly unraveled into something far more revealing. Behind closed doors in London, something was happening. Something the cameras weren't supposed to catch, but did. And just as news of a secret meeting involving Prince Harry's team began to leak out, the timing couldn't have been more suspicious, because while Harry's camp was making headlines in the shadows, Catherine, the Princess of Wales, was dazzling the world at Wimbledon. Confident, graceful, unbothered. And not once did she, or William, acknowledge the drama playing out behind the scenes. But that's the point. They didn't have to, because right now, Prince William's silence is doing something Harry and Meghan's entire media machine can't seem to pull off. It's working. And what comes next? That silence might be the final nail in the coffin of a broken royal relationship. The meeting that wasn't meant to be seen. It was quiet. Too quiet. A private meeting went down in London. No cameras, no public acknowledgement, no royal formalities. Just King Charles's aide and a few people from Harry and Meghan's camp. Not a single headline touched it for 4 days. When the news finally broke, it didn't explode. It slithered in. One blurry photo, a few vague details, and a whole lot of unanswered questions. But here's the twist. The timing wasn't random. Not even close. That same week, Catherine showed up at Wimbledon looking like she walked straight out of a royal portrait. Flawless, smiling, unshaken. The cameras were locked on her. The press coverage, glowing. Then suddenly, this secret meeting just happens to leak. Come on. This wasn't a coincidence. This was a headline hijack. And if you know Meghan's playbook, you've seen this move before. Drop something just when someone else is shining. But the real question wasn't who showed up. It was who didn't. And that's where things really start to get interesting. As the headlines swirled and the whispers grew louder, one name was missing from every report. Prince William. Not a single aide from his team. No subtle appearance. No anonymous quote to steer the story. Just silence. That's not accidental. That's tactical. Some insiders believe he was blindsided, that maybe he didn't even know the meeting was happening. But others, closer to the palace walls, say the opposite. William knew, and he chose not to lift a finger. That wasn't distance. That was a message. To the palace, to the press, to Harry. By refusing to engage, William made the loudest move of all. He didn't show up physically, but his absence was everywhere. And for a royal who's mastered the art of quiet power, not showing up might have been the most calculated decision yet. Because while the Sussexes were trying to stir attention behind closed doors, William was making it clear, you can play your games, but I'm not playing anymore. And what happened next? It made that silence even more dangerous. This isn't William ignoring his brother out of spite. It's not bitterness. It's strategy. Because the second William says anything, Harry and Meghan get something to twist. A headline, a quote, a moment to spin. But silence gives them nothing. No fuel for podcasts, no material for documentaries, no facial expressions for body language experts to dissect on YouTube. Just a blank space they can't control. And that terrifies them. William's not fighting Harry anymore. He's freezing him out. No press jabs, no subtle digs, not even private phone calls. Just a clean, cold line drawn in stone. And that's what makes this so different from the past. It's not a feud. It's a full shutdown. Behind the scenes, royal insiders say William doesn't even speak his brother's name anymore. Not in meetings, not in private, not even when pressed. To him, the chapter's over. But if you thought that was cold, wait until you hear what he's never planning to do again. Inside the palace, the word forgiveness isn't just missing, it's banned. One insider said it plainly. William will never forgive Harry. Not now. Not ever. And this isn't some royal dramatics or tabloid spin. It's real. It's raw. And it's final. To the public, it might seem harsh. But to William, it's survival. After years of watching Harry and Meghan toss the family under the bus through interviews, docuseries, best-selling memoirs, and podcast jabs, something in William snapped. Not in anger, in clarity. He's not wasting another moment hoping Harry will come back. That version of his brother, the one who stood beside him during their mother's funeral, the one who laughed with him behind palace gates, is gone. And William knows it. So he's done offering grace to people who use his silence as ammunition. Forgiveness. It's locked in a vault somewhere deep inside Buckingham, and no one's been given the key. But what William does next isn't just about personal pain. It's about image. And Catherine's about to make that message impossible to ignore. While Harry's team was sneaking through back entrances in London, Catherine was front and center, gliding into Wimbledon like royalty written in stone. She didn't say a word about the drama. She didn't have to, because everything about her appearance that day was a response. The crisp white dress, the confident smile, the posture, the control. It was calm, polished, intentional. And it told the world, we don't do chaos over here. And while Meghan has often used bold statements and press bombs to grab attention, Catherine uses stillness, elegance, and it's lethal. That day, every camera followed Catherine. Every headline praised her. Not for scandal, not for statements, but for style, grace, and what she didn't say. While the Sussex camp tried to shift the narrative with a leak, the Wales family made it irrelevant. Catherine didn't just dominate the moment, she erased everything else around it. It wasn't just a dress, it was a royal chess move. And what that move triggered next? Let's just say, King Charles had to make a very uncomfortable choice. King Charles isn't just a monarch, he's a father. And that's the problem. Because every time Harry reappears with open arms in quiet meetings, it forces Charles into a corner. One foot on the throne, the other still clinging to a son who walked away. That secret London meeting, it wasn't royal business. It was damage control, done off the books, behind closed doors, without palace cars or royal titles involved. And most telling of all, Charles didn't even attend. He sent an aide. Why? Because he knows what happens when Harry's given an inch. It gets spun into a headline, twisted into a redemption arc, and broadcast to millions. So Charles keeps it unofficial. No names, no photos, no public support. Just whispers in the background of a family still trying to look united on the surface. He wants peace, but he knows peace with Harry comes with a price, and it's one the monarchy might not survive. And while Charles tries to balance tradition with fatherhood, William isn't balancing anything. He's made up his mind, and the next move he makes, it leaves Harry completely exposed. For years, Harry and Meghan controlled the narrative. They didn't need palace approval. They had Netflix, bestsellers, paparazzi, podcasts. Every slight, every memory, every glare turned into content. But not anymore. Because now, the one thing they need, reaction, is gone. William isn't responding. Catherine isn't flinching. And King Charles is keeping his distance behind a curtain of aides and unofficial statements. And that silence, it's starving them. That leaked meeting in London, it wasn't about reconciliation. It was about illusion. It was meant to suggest Harry was still in the loop, still part of the institution he spent years attacking. But the truth? No William, no Catherine, not even Charles himself. Just enough contact to fuel speculation, but not enough to change anything. The Sussexes tried to turn whispers into momentum, but this time, nobody bit. Because what do you do when your favorite enemy stops fighting back? You flail. And what's coming next might just be the moment they realize they're not being silenced. They're being ignored. While Harry and Meghan chase relevance, William and Catherine are building something stronger, credibility. They don't chase headlines. They eclipse them. No interviews, no leaks, no rebuttals, just calm, poise, consistency. Every time Meghan tries to spark attention, Catherine steps out looking unshaken. Every time Harry drops a revelation, William gives nothing back. And that silence, it's become bulletproof. The public sees it. They're tired of the drama. They want stability. They want leadership. And that's exactly what the Wales family delivers. They've turned unbothered into an art form. No chaos, no games, no mess. Just a smiling family showing up, doing the work, and refusing to flinch at every jab thrown from across the ocean. And that's the real shift. For the first time, It's not Harry and Meghan versus the monarchy. It's Harry and Meghan versus the silence. And what happens when that silence gets louder than their entire media empire? You'll see. Because the final move in this royal standoff isn't drama. It's erasure.